So here with Northern Blues senior coach Josh Fraser. Josh, bit of a similar circumstance, a poor start and a disappointing result at the end of the day. How'd you see it?
I was just far from acceptable. Really disappointing and fairly honest discussion post-game, but I guess on the whole, mate, as a coaching group and as a footy club, we're really disappointed with the performance we put out there today.
What was the main things that went wrong for you?
We had a big focus all week on the way we started the game, and it was probably a small step forward, but we weren't able to endure over the course of the first 30 minutes. And again, just the lack of compliance in different areas, and probably not enough players actually standing up and probably owning their positions and their roles. And that's a frustration that we've had most weeks. And today was just really different, given the week that we've had and the way we set the game up. My gut feel is there was a shift, but it wasn't significant enough, and given that we had a really heavy focus on the way we started the game, that was probably the most disappointing part. The group's got some genuine fight. I think they try and respond as best they can, but again, we set the whole week up around starting well and having some contingencies in place if we didn't, and we just didn't execute those plans. So that's a compliance issue, and that's something that we'll need to keep addressing.
What's happened in the last three matches compared to the three wins previously that you've sensed there's a change in there, and what needs to be brought back to the team?
What's happened? Well, the personnel changes weekly, but I think the effort's wavered too much. The gap between our best and our worst is too great, and that's probably the thing that I'm most frustrated and disappointed with in the playing group, that the effort is far too inconsistent. So we've had a sample of what our good footy looks like. We've had too big a sample of what our ordinary footy looks like, and until we bridge that gap, we're going to be a side that is inconsistent and can string together some wins, but is also going to bottom out at some stage. So it's probably where we're at in our program and our development, and I'm excited that we're at this point because we can clearly address it, and if that takes us to the end of the year, well, so be it. But it's on the agenda, and rest assured, well, I guess we're working really hard to make sure we get a fix.
Charlie Cano played his first VFL game today and kicked his first goal as well. Just a quick word on him.
Yeah, I thought he was a bit slow early to get going, a little bit rusty. He had some touches that he didn't capitalise on, but I think we can all see the talent there, and I think once he worked into the game and, as you mentioned, got forward, was able to take a mark inside 50 and finish. So he's had a very interrupted build up to his first year of AFL footy, so we're looking forward to just getting some consistency into him on the track and game day, and he'll build nicely.
Finally, what's the focus for North Ballarat next week and the weeks ahead?
Oh, look, I guess that'll come out in the wash. My immediate reaction is that we need to get more of a collective buy-in to the way we want to play. Obviously, according to the opposition and their strengths and weaknesses, but we just need a complete shift in our effort and more players jumping on board. And we're not a side that can leave it to too few, because we just don't have that depth at the moment. So we'll obviously have a look at form and selection and see if we can't get a better mix to go down and play a side who I think, as their first year of standalone, have performed really well. So it's going to be a really tough challenge.